Okay, we're gonna get, it's loud enough now. We're gonna get started. We're hearing two bills today we're gonna vote on, and then we're gonna have a hearing on Trey Kelly's bill last. Chairman Scoggins, you open us in a word of prayer.
Okay, you okay? Thank you, Mr. Chair. If y'all bow with me. Most precious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to be here today. We thank you for the opportunity to be here and do the work for the state of Georgia and all of our constituents back home. We hope you lead it and guide us in all decisions we make and everything we do. In God's name I pray. Amen.
Is it working?
Representative Horner, would you tell us what LC number you'll be working off of on your bill?
Absolutely. This is House Bill 1178 LC 590374S.
Okay, so you made some amendments. Would you just cover with us? We've had the hearing. Would you cover with us what those amendments did, which ones they are?
Yes. So there's 3 amendments to the bill. So what the bill did is, of course, just a quick recap. It puts, as previously under code section, it puts it right back into code section. It was word for word previous law into new law. We added liabilities to it to where all liabilities of the state have to come before this committee. What the 3 amendments did was we replaced shall to may with meet 9 times out of session. That way it gave a little bit of the concerns during the hearing. It's a may instead of a shall. The other 2 lines that we changed is hearing at the committee, which is a discretion and some type of oversight over the committee chair. And the committee chairs work on this bill to where the speaker will have that oversight, so that you not only have the chairman's oversight, you have the speaker of the house's oversight. And I believe in the judgment of the speaker and of the chairman. And so that's the 2 amendments we added.
If you don't mind, just on that paper that they gave us from legal counsel, whatever it was, the one we just read.
Absolutely. So this was in lines beginning in 19. The committee may meet up to 9 times per year. It was shall. We changed it to may. Line 52. Let's see. After the word auditors, we said subject to the approval of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the funds necessary to pay for such audit, giving that discretion. Replace lines 55 and 56, again changing at the discretion of the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Okay. We're going to open up for any questions from the committee. Representative Gamble.
Thank you, Chairman. And I apologize. I know I've not been able to be at our prior meetings, and you probably explained this, but just on line 33, number 4, liabilities, I'm assuming that would be the financial liabilities of the state and not any type of other liability.
Correct. Just the liabilities that are tied to our budget and our fiscal responsibilities.
Representative Scoggins.
At the proper time, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
We got some other questions. Just hold that thought.
Okay.
I want to make sure everyone, we vetted the bill, but I was assuming that I guess everybody was there. But number 7.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Representative, for bringing this bill. On the very end, lines 55 through 58, I'm just curious to hear your rationale for including beyond state agencies, county and local elected officials. Can you talk a little bit more about why you've decided to include that level of, I guess it's not subpoena power, but the power to call those elected local officials to our
Absolutely,
meetings?
and there's authorities across the state that receive state funding, either locally or through grants or any type of programs, to where we want to make sure if we are providing that money to make sure it's going towards the services that Chairman Hatchett has done, or the governor. And so that's one of the reasons. Second reason, as we've seen in other from other school superintendent down in Dublin City. We've had issues there as well. That way, there's one institution that can be called and then come before us, and we can ask them what's going on with their books. You receive state funding. Where's that state funding going? Just on SHBP, we've had that issue. So that's one of the reasons why we added it in there. And again, it was under state law previously, word for word, just like that.
Okay. Chairman, would you allow just a tiny follow-up to that? So keeping in that same train of thought, then, the power would be used to talk about state funding, not local decisions.
Correct.
Number 14.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess to follow up to your point, do we need to clarify that to address the committee's findings related to the use of state funds? Or is that not necessary?
I don't believe that's necessary because that was how it was previously before in state law, and there was never that issue previously in what I could find on researching the bill.
And I apologize. Why was it taken out of state law in the first place?
There was certain individuals at the time. I can't speak to the whims of state senators, unfortunately. If we could, we'd be in a better position.
Yeah. Okay. I would be interested in reserving that because as much as I would love to dig into my school system's books, if they're spending money that's related to the school system that they raise through local dollars.
Yes, we're just talking about state funding in this bill.
I would assume we absolutely have no legal counsel. We have no say so or authority over local spending. Is that not correct?
That's correct, as far as I know.
We're talking about state funding only. If they receive state funds, that's what this committee would have oversight over. And we put the reason we put the speaker in for at his discretion on certain things was because we don't have the ability to fund, pay for or fund audits, which could be $100,000, $200,000 maybe on some bigger things, and we can't do that. And then we couldn't. We can't say we're going to have 50 meetings and pay everybody mileage, and I'm being a little facetious, but we wanted to put a limit so that, we didn't overstep our boundaries and spend money unnecessarily. I feel like this bill is, as I've said before, it's important to this committee. I think we've lost our oversight over the departments. One of the reasons that the list there was so long is that we want to make somebody that was appointed that was spending state money or elected officials, anybody. And we definitely don't want to call the governor. He might not come. So we said the speaker has to approve anybody that we called. I think this is important. As I've said before, I think I've been a man of my word to the committee members. We're here to the departments to find out if we're doing something wrong to affect them. We can also change ourselves, and we're in this together. And we've witnessed school systems that we have a school system that's at 2%, 1 to 2% reserves. They just passed a budget that's $2.5 million over. They admitted when they did the budget they're going to lose $2.5 million. We don't think that's good policy. We had a school systems we just had to inject money into, and this is the kind of thing we need to be looking at. And all of a sudden you find out, and I know we're on recording here, but everybody says y'all got $14 million. Well, $10 billion or whatever. I don't think we have. I think we have with one downturn and one pandemic, we can last about a little over 2 months now. And so this is our job, and we haven't been doing it. And this is what we want. We don't want to look down on any department or cause anybody in trouble, but we want them to spend their money wisely, and we want to have oversight over that. Number 2.
Well, that'd be me. I was just going to tell you, I got a text. Our sound's not working, so you got to repeat everything. Our sound's not working. You're going to have to repeat everything you just said.
That comes from the governor.
No, it did not. It's working now, he said. Okay, we're good to go now.
I got his attention.
That's right.
Number 16.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
are you on 16? Yes, sir. Let me cut it off and then push it one more time.
That's right. Oh, there we go. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your bill. Certainly all about this and people being accountable for the money that we spend around this capital. Does this also include DFACs
This includes anything the
and
state.
the $84 million they lost?
This includes anywhere state funding lists.
Very good. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I got a question.
Alright,
I was
go
just gonna say at the proper time, I'd make a motion.
Mitchell's already said that.
Yeah.
Who
Ms.
said that?
Fiscal.
Oh. Say you can't make a motion on your own bill. I've done that a long time ago.
I want to, I absolutely, this is important to this house. It's important to these members that we have here. And I want everybody to be happy with not happy with what they heard, but I want everybody, although we've had a hearing before, I want you to be satisfied with what this bill does or doesn't do, and then you vote your conscience, what you think's best for the state of Georgia.
Mr. Speaker, my motion would be do pass.
We have a motion do pass.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor of passing, say aye. Aye. All opposed? And I believe that's unanimous. We thank y'all. Thank you for your hard work on this, and I know how hard you did work.
Thank you, Chairman.
Yes, sir. Now we're gonna hear from Miss Tanya with 2 A's.
Yes.
Miller, representative.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, this chair is low. It's a little low. First, I'm already short. Now I feel well, under the table here. Ready when you are, Mr. Chairman.
I want you to, we've had a good hearing from you and
Yes,
vetted
sir.
your bill thoroughly. If you could just go over what was changed in the sub, make sure everyone's happy with that.
Yes, sir. So I am working from LC 521027S, which is the second sub. This sub came as a result of input that I received from members of the committee, which I was happy to incorporate in this bill. The changes from the last bill that we talked about, HB 733, in case anyone forgot, essentially deal with one, making sure that the consumer advocate and the commissioner report to the legislature. We, of course, in the original bill as drafted, the advocate would be appointed by the governor, but there was some concern. Representative Horner, I will just call these the Horner amendments. Representative Horner wanted to see more transparency and accountability to this body, which I always agree with. This is a branch of government, full and of itself, and I was happy to incorporate that. So if you go to page 4 of the sub, the new lines start at 82, ended at 86, and essentially allows for the chairperson's.
Let me see. What line?
I'm sorry, line 82
C?
on page 4, line 82 through 86.
Okay.
It starts at the end. Such report shall be promptly updated when requested by any of the
Okay.
listed recipients.
Mhm.
That was added.
Mhm.
And then section D, the commissioner or advocate or their designees shall advise the chairpersons of the House Committee on Insurance and the Senate Insurance and Labor Committee on insurance matters when requested. That is the language the Ledge Council suggested and put in, which would allow members of those committees to call in the advocate and or the commissioner to address questions about rate filings, rate increases, etc. And then on page 8, Representative Horner suggested that we add in language that would take into account inflation. So the new language starts at around line 181. Provided, however, that the commissioner is authorized to adjust such increases for inflation as necessary. And then Page 15, line 364, again, just reiterates that same statement. Page 15, line 364, allowing for inflation to be taken into account. So those are the changes. They were pretty straightforward. Again, just to remind, the bill creates it's called the Insurance Consumer Protection Act, and it creates an insurance consumer advocate whose job it is essentially is to advocate on behalf of the consumer in rate filings. It's not a rate cap. It doesn't change anything in the process of how insurance rates are decided substantially. All it does is require a more robust showing from insurance companies when they want to increase their rates. And that is essentially the bill in a nutshell. I'm happy to take any questions or go back and go over any of the specific provisions as the chairman or committee may desire.
I appreciate it. And I do want to say, appreciate your work on this, and you have a lot of bipartisan support, as is listed on the bill and in the House, and I appreciate you bringing the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Ridley.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for this bill. Let me ask you this question. I know how you've got it kind of written up in here. Anytime that the commissioner does an increase, does he has to justify it in writing in some way that everybody can see why he is agreeing to a rate increase by any insurance company?
Thank you for that question. It's my understanding, I don't know exactly how the commissioner documents his determination about rate increases. One of the reasons why we are putting this person into this process of deciding rate increases is so that there is someone whose job it is to evaluate any request for an increase from the consumer's perspective and who can advocate. They don't get to overrule what the commissioner does. They do get to appeal if they think it's proper under the statute. But the problem with our understanding of insurance in Georgia, and largely this has been a problem across the country, is that there has been a lack of transparency. Insurance companies often use words like trade secrets or play, I guess, some games, and I'm not saying that to be flippant, because this has been documented and found to be true in places like Florida, and we all heard about this, when it comes to providing sufficient information to justify the rate increase. So I don't know what the exact reporting is of the insurance commissioner, and certainly he has the obligation to explain and be able to justify any approval of a rate increase, but I don't know if that comes by way of a report. What this bill would do is require at this body, in this House, in the House of Representatives, through our insurance committee chair, for the House of Representatives to bring in the commissioner or the insurance advocate to explain what's happening. If there are questions, if there have been reports about malfeasance in how rates are being set, or whether or not complete information is being filed.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, can I one follow-up question? Whenever the governor vetoes a bill, he has to write why he's vetoing the bill, right? Do you think it'd be a good practice if the insurance commissioner agrees, he's supposed to be the one that's going up on the rates, right? He agrees to them, that he has to put out a public announcement on the website, this is the rate increase, this is why I did it. Do you think that would be a good consumer?
I would support that.
Would you like to make an amendment to that?
Do you have an amendment? I mean, I don't have
I
a
think that's
problem with
great transparency.
I don't have a
I
problem
want to
with
know why
transparency.
you were going up on my insurance. Tell me what company is doing it and why, and I want you to write down, just like the governor whenever he does when he vetoes a bill, write why you're doing it.
I don't have a problem with that. I'll leave that to the chairman if
Okay.
he's inclined to take any amendments.
Representative Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Representative, for this amazing bill. I think in this time where affordability is such an issue and healthcare costs are rising, and I serve on other committees where we are talking about some of the abuses, I would say, when it comes to insurance, it really does feel like the people need someone on their side speaking up for them. I would second the idea of there needing to be more transparency about why things are just going up, because from what I understand, there are a lot of insurance companies that are making record profits, but they are still just are saying, hey, but I need to raise rates, and sometimes raise rates to what seems unreasonable. And so, Mr. Chairman, at the proper time.
Mr. Gamble. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. Representative Miller, appreciate your bill. Just had a question. Can't the insurance commissioner already do this? Isn't he investigating already and finding insurance companies?
Sure. What the insurance commission right now, the way that rates are decided is the insurance industry or the insurer will come and say, we need to increase our insurance rates. The insurance commissioner goes through a process, gets some information. Not all the information that he gets is available to the public. He can decide that, and he can entertain that and then decide whether or not a rate increase is appropriate. All this does is insert an advocate on behalf of the consumer to weigh in on that. So the commissioner is the one that ultimately still gets to decide whether a rate increase is proper or not proper. This just adds a layer of a consumer advocate to say, hey, I understand this insurance company is saying that they need this rate increase and it's justified, but here are the questions that we have. We have also reviewed this information. We see the profits are skyrocketing. We don't see where in the data that has been supplied that a rate increase is justified. So we would respectfully request that you deny it at this time. And the insurance commissioner can, almost putting him in the position of being the judge in deciding it. So as the commissioner, he or she, the commissioner, is evaluating questions about rate increases. Right now they hear from one side. That side largely goes unchallenged. The insurance consumer advocate would be able to bring a perspective from the consumer and also request information and data as laid out in the statute in order to get to the bottom of whether or not the rate increase is justified or not. I saw where Commissioner King posted that he wanted to see some changes done and that he needed some help in terms of making sure that we are appropriately, supervising and making the right decisions when insurance companies come and ask for rate increases. All this bill does is put in someone with the level of expertise, because this is a very regulated industry. It's not something that people can easily understand. We know that our constituents are required to have insurance, so the relationship is already unbalanced. Ask most folks what they've signed when they sign up for insurance. They probably couldn't tell you. The only thing this does is give an extra voice for the consumer in that process. It doesn't require caps. It doesn't say you can't raise them. All it says is that if you do raise premiums, you have to justify it and you have to do it in a way that is transparent.
Isn't the consumer process already available? Can a consumer already do this to some degree?
They can to some degree, but it's limited.
Okay.
What this bill does that's different from the way that the statute is kind of drawn now is it sets forth exactly the kind of information that the advocate is entitled to evaluate whether or not the rate increase is proper or improper. Right now, if I'm a consumer and I say, wait a minute, my premiums have quadrupled over this year and I didn't file a claim, I would like someone to do something about it. That complaint goes to the commissioner's office and I couldn't tell you what happens to it after that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the problem is that most people are ill-equipped to really advocate for themselves when it comes to all of the calculations and all of the data and all of the information that goes into rate increases. The hope is that when the consumer advocate is in place, before those increases, are passed or agreed on, there is a meaningful dialogue with the insurance commissioner, with the insurance companies, by someone advocating for the consumer before the rate increase happens. Because see, right now, rate increase happens, you get notice of it, it's all over but the shout. Now you're trying to undo something, as opposed to saying, hey, wait a minute, you filed a request, you've submitted a rate filing request, you want to raise premiums, let's take a look at why. And it can't just be, we've made 90 billion, we'd like to make 180 billion. I mean, it really has to be justified. And so the problem that we are seeing, and why constituents are so upset about insurance rates, is that you can be doing everything right. You could have had no claims, and your rates will keep climbing, and you won't be able to understand why. And if you try calling the insurance commissioner's office right now and asking them to explain to you why your particular rate went up, good luck getting to the bottom of that. And so, and that's not a dig on anybody.
Sure.
It's just I think a hole in the process, right? And because it is so complex, and because insurance companies have lawyers and actuaries and advocates and lobbyists and all kinds of things to advocate for themselves when they want to raise their premiums, consumers don't. And they're largely not in the rooms when that happens, and their voice is not heard when that happened. And so this doesn't change the power of the insurance commissioner. It just allows the advocate to be represented when these rate increase requests happen on the front end.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, Chairman, for the record, I hear the concern with the advocate part. I was on the other side of the equation last year when my carrier paid a massive roof claim from a tree that fell on the back of our house. And then, unfortunately, my 16-year-old daughter had a minor fender bender, and we were sued for personal injury, and the insurance company had to settle. And I know based on the premiums that we were paying, there would be no way they could recuperate over a long period of time what they had to pay out in claims on us. But I do understand what you're saying, and I guess that's what a good conversation we're having today. So thank you.
Thank you. And I'll just say on that, I think there's a common misperception about how insurance companies make their money and how they make their profits. And there is not necessarily a premium paid, claims outpaid, parallel to that. When you pay your premium, the insurance company essentially takes that premium and invests it, and then they put it in the market, and then they make market-based income off of it. There are folks who pay premiums forever and never file a claim. There are folks who just start and then immediately have a claim. So the way that their profits are calculated is kind of complex, and it's not just premiums paid in, claims paid out. It is also the amount of money that they are able to invest in the market. Insurance companies also routinely have reinsurance so that they themselves are insured against large-scale catastrophes like hurricanes and things like that. The problem is this: there are times when insurance companies are extraordinarily profitable and they are not losing money on claims, okay? And they are still raising premiums. And that is the thing that we are trying to get at. We would just like to have a moment, a pause, a beat in this process of raising rates on citizens, where someone who's advocating for the citizen on the front end can meaningfully do that. And so we have not seen this go awry in other jurisdictions. We aren't talking about caps in this bill. We're not talking about freezing rates in this bill. We're not talking about things that might weaken solvency for insurance companies. All it does really is modernize oversight by adding an advocate to participate in the process.
Thank you. Thank you. You're next.
Thank you, Chairman. And thank you, Representative Miller. Thank you for working with us on these amendments and making sure that the oversight is in the legislature and not the executive. First, I have a question. What other states do this?
Well, I had my list the last time we were here.
You did.
I don't have it in front of me. I'm going to go on memory. Of course, Florida has. a consumer advocate office. I believe that Rhode Island has one. There are about 6 states. If you give me a minute, I can pull those up
You're perfectly
on
fine.
my phone and tell you. I rattled them off last time, but I don't have them this time.
You're perfectly fine. And then lastly, this is just a review process as well after an inflation adjustment and 10%.
Absolutely.
So no one's income is going up 14, 15% to where they can adjust for these massive premiums.
I mean, I wish
Thank you.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Thank
Mr.
you for
Ridley.
the question.
All right, thank you. And I hadn't got to read the bill, and I have forgot since last time. Who appoints the advocate?
The governor.
Okay. All right. And is there anything in there that says that advocate can't have any ties to any insurance companies?
No, that's not in there actually. The only requirement that is in the bill is that the advocate essentially have the expertise and qualifications to do the job, right? This is a pretty well-regulated industry, so we want someone who understands how this stuff goes. We put in there that the person would be an attorney because there are proceedings, and we'd like the advocate not to have to go get an attorney, but to be one. So 2 for 1 in that. But no, we don't. I mean, it's the only job they can have.
Oh, so they can't still practice?
No,
Oh, okay, okay.
no,
All
they
right.
cannot.
So let me throw this at you. What about if we did an amendment that said something to this, and I'm just throwing out here something for you.
Okay.
Says the insurance commissioner must publicly report on the front page of the website any rate increase and explain the amount of the increase and why he agreed to the increase in detail.
Where would you put that?
I don't know. That was the legislative council. Yeah, in this
In
bill.
here somewhere. I don't.
Do you have a problem? I mean,
I
if you,
do not have a problem with that. Would be a friendly amendment.
I mean, I just think, and here's the reason I'm saying that. You can appoint an advocate, and it's appointed by the governor, and we know how all that goes, no matter who the governor is. And they're going to get swayed one way or another. But I think if the commissioner has to publicly put down, this is the insurance company that's doing it, this is the rate increase they're doing, and I'm explaining why I'm agreeing to it, then I think that is more than any consumer advocate can do, and he's got to post it on the front page where everybody can see it on their website.
There is a section in the bill, and I'm trying to find it, that deals with.
23 to 331 talks about the report. If you're going to adjust anything, I would adjust it there.
So if you,
Okay,
he's right.
Where is legal counsel? What, has he ever got a microphone?
I do not have a microphone over here.
Could you speak to the?
Yes, I can.
I would refer the committee to section 11 that begins on line 365. My recommended language here, to the extent the committee wants to entertain this concept, is that after the word is on line 370, insert the following: documented in a report published on the department's website demonstrating that such increase is, end quote.
Yeah. Can we? What did you say, Representative?
I'm looking for my pen.
I don't. Trust me, I'm not an attorney, but I know how this stuff works. I've been here long enough. If you don't put it in plain English, then they're going to do a workaround on it. So I'd like it to have that they must or they shall publish any rate increases on the front page of the website clearly, and justify why they agreed to the increase in detail.
Okay.
Can we do?
Can I? We got about 5 more questions, so let's get through that.
Okay.
And then we'll have to have a motion, and then we can talk.
Okay.
See if they take amendment. 14.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. If Legislative Council can look at line 323, that's where we talk about the report. You may want to consider on line 325 where it says shall submit to the commissioner, advocate, the commissioner, comma, the advocate, and post on the website a detailed actual report, because that's where we talk about if there's a rate increase. I would probably consider putting it there since we already talked about reporting requirements. But that's whenever you do a rate increase, you have to give this report to them. And so what I'm saying is, that's the way I read it, that if you're going to do a rate increase,
I want the public to see it though.
you what?
I want the public to see
No,
it.
that's what I'm saying. You would have to post on the website as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So I would just beef up the reporting requirements
Okay.
versus putting it somewhere else, because you want them to have that detailed report that explains why you gave an increase. But just take a look at that real quick. I just read it real quick, so. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
It starts at, line 322, 323. I think you could pretty much do it both. It may make more sense because what I think Representative Ridley is saying is that when the commissioner agrees to a rate hike, that should be put on the website.
And I mean any. I don't mean this 10% and inflation. I mean any.
Okay. So I don't have a problem with that. You don't have to twist my arm. So it may make more sense to put it here because I think what Representative Wilkerson is talking about is what the insurance companies submit by way of justification for a rate hike. So it's the process of asking for the rate hike and what you have to submit. And then we go through that process, and eventually you might get to a point where the insurance commissioner says, yes, I agree, the rate hike is justified. What Representative Ridley is saying, if he gets to that point, he or she gets to that point, then that ought to be published to the public on the website, right? I don't have a problem with it, but I may need some help drafting it. I don't have a problem with that. Whatever, I would take that as a friendly amendment.
Okay, are there any other questions? I would entertain a motion.
Jasmine?
I would like to make a motion to pass.
We have a motion to do pass in a second. All right.
Really?
We're gonna have to put it here.
Oh, I'm gonna make a motion to amend.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? All right, I make a motion to amend on whatever line she said that I need to do it on.
Can you say what?
Read it again?
Read one more time.
And I got some legal jargon here for you to jot down now.
Oh, Lord.
I phoned a damn friend.
You
So I
did?
phoned a friend.
Who's a friend?
You let the really.
Meeting come to order, please.
Meeting come to order. The first one that you suggested, that was in section 11.
Yes, that was at line 370.
Okay, so, and you would put that as a as like a one to add it to the 1, 2, 3, or just within that first sentence?
My suggestion was just to continue on with that sentence, subsection A,
Okay.
where it says the commissioner shall only approve a proposed rate, rating plan, rating system, or underwriting rule that results in an increase if such increase is, and then I proposed some language, but I'm at Representative.
Okay,
Ridley's
here's what I've got. Provided that any approved rate increase shall be clearly posted on the home page of the website of the Office of the Insurance Commissioner in a font no smaller than 12-point font, along with the insurance company's name and detailed explanation of why the rate increase is necessary.
I'm going to need that a tad bit slower, or
That's-
it can be emailed
Or I can give
to
it.
me.
Yeah.
You want me to send it to you? Yeah.
Yeah. Can you read it one more time, slowly?
Yes. Provided that any approved rate increase shall be clearly posted on.
Hold
Okay.
on, any approved rate increase.
Hang on. Let me get my South Georgia accent going. We'll be slow then. Shall be clearly posted on the home page of the website of the Office of Insurance Commissioner in a font no smaller than 12-point font.
I don't think we need the font part.
Well, I want it big enough where they can read it. Along with the insurance company's name and detailed explanation of why the increase is necessary. At least 12 point, I guess. I don't know. 12 point or larger. How about that? Yeah, you just
Let's please, let's listen just a minute so we can read us what we're gonna be voting on.
okay. You want me to read it back? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, just to be clear, I'm not sure where exactly we're inserting this language. Where does it begin?
Well, I mean, heck, if all else fails, can we not just make a new section at the end? I think like we said, 3, huh? But that's in the report, though. That's what's they're going to use to say. That's right. That's true. Yes. Okay. Okay. So 369.
The commissioner shall only approve a proposed rate. As a subsection?
Okay. So yeah,
4?
on 370.
Wait just a minute. I want somebody that wants to make an amendment to get an amendment and somebody read it so I can understand what y'all are talking about and not 6 or 7 people out of due respect talking at the same time.
Okay.
If I can be quiet long enough, everybody else can too.
All right. So if we do it on line 370 after is, that's where you were going to put the other, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can we not put that right there?
Could you read the
Yeah. Provided.
well starting where exactly? That's
I'm talking about after is. So it'll read like this: the commissioner shall only approve a proposed rating plan, rate system, or underwriting rule that results in an increase, if such increase. Well, I guess we'd go back to underwriting rule. All right. What about this? That results in an increase, and then end it there, and then start with my amendment.
Where are we on this now? I'm waiting for somebody to read the amendment to me.
We're on line 370. You got the amendment?
I believe so. Could I read what I
Sure.
have? Tell me if this is correct. So beginning at line 369, and this is inclusive of language that's already in the bill, but for clarity, the commissioner shall only approve a proposed rating plan, rating system, or underwriting rule that results in an increase if such increase is clearly posted on the homepage of the department's website, comma, along with the insurance company's name and detailed explanation of why the increase is, colon. That doesn't get there?
No, you're giving too big of a way out.
All right.
I think it maybe makes sense, Representative Ridley, as number 4, because A essentially defines what it means to approve a rate increase, and what you are saying is that you can only approve it if you publish it. right? Or you have to publish it if you
Yes.
approve it.
That's right.
So you could either do, Mr. Chairman, you could either do the Ridley amendment as a 4 or as a new B. So A
Or do a D.
or do a D. I mean, it just makes sense though to just to
If-
keep it logical. Make it B and then move everything else down one.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think that'll work. I think that's the easiest thing to do.
Make it B. Okay. So the Ridley amendment would come in. We'll finalize the language at B. 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 So Ridley amendment would be B. And then what is now B would be C. And then now what is C would become D.
Yeah,
It'll all get pushed down. Got it? Do you think we need to put it in that other section about the, okay, I think we're just trying to get his, just gonna get this, it's a good amendment. It's a good amendment. Mm-hmm. Depends. Depends on.
Yeah, I gotta go. I got 2 bills in Game Fish and Parks. I'm trying to. Don't need that. You got your bill.
It's a very good amendment.
All right.
Like a new, brand new iPhone? I've got like.
All right.
Legal
So,
counsel, you're gonna read it to us, thank you, sir.
yes, sir. All right. So at line 377, insert a subsection B. Oh, hold on. Okay, 375. I've been moving things around. All right. At line 375. All right. We have a subsection B that reads as follows. Any approved rate increases shall be clearly posted on the homepage of the department's website in a font no smaller than 12-point font, comma, along with the insurance company's name and a detailed explanation for why the rate increase is necessary. And then, with the committee's permission, I'll make conforming changes to the remainder of this section so that we have appropriate subsections C and D.
I'll entertain a motion on the amendment. We have a motion.
Second.
And a second. Yeah. Somebody, you got to discuss, you got
I
something?
just got a question.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. How important is that font thing? Because it's not like it's a letter and the font might, I just don't know what the font is on a website and I don't want to mess up a bill because the font doesn't match.
So I'll tell you how important. I'll tell you how important it is. Every time that our school system or your county goes up on has to post it on public, it has how big the border's got to be on the paper, what the font's got to be, the whole 9 yards for a tax increase. So why should, it is important because if you don't, they'll put it in -1 down there where nobody can see it.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that depends on your eyesight.
You can, Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of the amendment, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Wasn't that simple? Now, we won't vote as a substitute. Okay, now we're gonna vote on the substitute as amended. Make sure I got my words exactly right. All in favor? Aye. Aye. All opposed? Do pass.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Representative Ridley. Thank you, Representative Horner.
Let's get us all time to come up there and talk. Don't start when we get there, cause I'm on that committee. Okay, we now on to a hearing from Representative Trey Kelly. If you will, tell us what LC number you're working off of and the bill number. And
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I appreciate the opportunity to come before you today. I know it's late in the afternoon. I know y'all been doing some busy and important work here. I'm working off House Bill 1354 LC 521011. It's a measure that deals with helping our medical providers in our state get credentialed with our health plans across our state. When I've talked to health providers around the state, they talk to me about one of the hardest things about helping them come into the practice of medicine is getting credentialed by our health plans. They say that once they've made it through medical school, once they've passed their boards, they think they've almost made it there, to the finish line to be able to provide treatment to the patients that they've worked so hard for and got their education for, and then they've run into an onerous practice from our health plans of being credentialed. This delays patient care in Georgia. When we talk about having a shortage of doctors in our state, it makes our state unfriendly to them. This would be something that not only would maximize the strength of the doctors we have here, but also would be a tool to help us recruit doctors by simplifying our credentialing process. And so what this measure would do would be to simply say that once a doctor has been credentialed for Medicaid in our state, that the health plans shall within 45 days also approve their application and approve them to be credentialed under that private health plan. Another benefit of this, along with getting our doctors credentialed with private health plans, is that it would also encourage more doctors to get credentialed with Medicaid, because we know that sometimes there's a shortage that we have in terms of having Medicaid providers. And so this would give a incentive for our medical providers to get credentialed with Medicaid so that they would then have this streamlined process in terms of getting credentialed from our private payers. That is the bill, Mr. Chairman. I know it's a hearing today, and I appreciate the time and attention, and I look forward to any questions.
we appreciate you bringing this bill, and I will say to the audience now, if anybody, this will be the hearing on this, so if anybody out there wants to speak to the bill, we have a sign-up sheet out there. There's a sign-up sheet on the corner, and we want to hear from you. Number 5.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for this bill. I do think that it's an important issue to make sure that credentialing is happening in a timely manner. I'm just very curious about how this will impact the state health benefit plan. Would that also fall under this, I guess, timeline as well?
Yeah, any insurer providing a network plan in our state. And as the Department of Community Health oversees our state health benefit plan as well as our Medicaid credentialing process, I think it should be a smooth transition for them. But I appreciate that question.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the presenter? Number 7.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Representative, for bringing this bill. I have a question on line 20. All insurers providing a network plan. I'm trying to think through, are there insurers that would be providing other types of plan, or is this comprehensive to all plans?
It is my understanding that this is comprehensive to all plans, but I'll work on getting clarification for
Just
that
curious.
before tomorrow morning. But that
Thank
is
you.
my goal.
Thank you for the bill. I like it in concept. So I guess my question is, how long does it take to credential applications now, and what are the challenges to getting them approved?
I've heard from medical providers that it's all over the board, and it could drag out for months at a time. And that is also impacting not only our individual providers, but those working inside our hospital systems that are already working inside our hospital systems, that they would be providing services to the hospital, but then they're not able to get reimbursed. So it varies in terms of how long it takes, but it is a extensive process that drags out for months at a time, according to the anecdotes that I've heard.
May I follow up? Sure. Are these administrative type of delays, or are they taking in information that are affect coverage? I mean, why are they approving or not approving certain applications?
That's a good question. I think that's a reason why we need to standardize what's in this, is that all of our plans should essentially be looking for the same kind of requirements from our providers, the education level, the residency requirements, where they're providing care, what type of care they're providing, where they're providing it, and it should be standardized, and it's really a data collection mechanism, but you're having the doctors have to fill out multiple applications across all the different health plans, and so it's a lot of the redundant information along all ends, and this is something that's meant to be friendly to our providers and our health plans in terms of us helping come along with a standardized process for everyone to work inside of to ultimately put our patients forward in Georgia.
Any further questions? Anyone from the audience? Okay, I picked up on something. Maybe it's not an amendment or a change, but you guys, we have the unsigned, undocumented Campbell-Tarvin rule, and if we have we want, there's several people interested in this bill, and we want to vote it out if it is the committee's preference in their will. So check your email tonight. I will send Ms. Campbell one, Representative Campbell, for sure, because we are both people of our word. Representative Kelly, I appreciate you bringing this and being patient with us, and we had a little bit of all kind of mix up today, and we got about 10 committee meetings going on at the same time. I've been sitting here, I haven't been texting people about this meeting. I've been trying to keep people from texting me about they need you there for a vote, so you know how that goes. And we thank you, and we're going to plan on trying to, there should be a notice out, meeting at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I believe it was in, I'll have to look now, it's been so long, but I believe it's 406 or 606. I don't know what she ended up getting.
I look forward to seeing you all in the morning.
Thank you, sir, very much.
Thank you.
Oh, 506.
506 what? Okay, 506.
Hey, Trey, I actually do have one question.